Hello, this is Mark Satterfield, and welcome to the Velvet Rope Playbook. Tonight's chapter, The Status Manuscript, How Writing a Book Opens Doors to the Wealthy. At a dinner party in Napa, just 12 guests, 2 wine stewards, and one of those chefs who speaks in poetry, a man named Julian DeVere passed a signed copy of a book across the table. The title, Preserving Legacy, a private framework for families of wealth. No one at the table had heard of it. It wasn't on the Times list, didn't trend on BookTok, didn't need to. But when the patriarch of a prominent Bay Area tech family flipped it open, scanned the foreword, and asked, "Would you be willing to do a small workshop for our family office?" The room shifted. Julian didn't pitch. Julian didn't cold call. Julian published. And that book, it became the key that let him walk straight through the side door into the world of generational wealth. So here's a truth no one tells you. Wealthy people don't want to be sold. They want to discover someone worth knowing. They don't want a pitch. They want proof of intelligence, proof of values, proof that your thinking is worth inviting into their world. And nothing does that quite like a book. But not just any book. A book that reflects mastery, elegance, perspective, and above all, discretion. Now, if you're serious about building a business that sells to the 1%, not just with tactics, but with tools that generate long-term pull, well, go to getwealthyclients.com. When you're there, you can get access to my best-selling books and training vault that show you how to attract, serve, and earn the trust from the most affluent clients in the world. Now, back to the book. Let's be clear. Your book isn't there to impress Amazon. It's there to start conversations that your competitors will never be invited to. When someone wealthy reads your book, they're not judging the grammar. They're scanning for tone, for shared values, for reassurance that you are someone who thinks and moves like they do. That's why your book doesn't need to go viral. It needs to feel inevitable once it's in the right hands. Let me introduce you to another character, Camilla Santora. She's a private wealth psychologist, no social media to speak of, no coaching programs. She wrote a short book, only 120 pages, called Families That Endure, Emotional Strategy for Generational Wealth. She didn't even sell it publicly. Instead, she had 500 copies privately bound in Florence, wrapped each in linen with a handwritten note, and sent them to 40 estate attorneys, 30 family offices, and the deans of 6 elite boarding schools. Within a year, she had a steady stream of ultra-affluent clients who referred her not as a therapist, but as an architect of trust. Not because she advertised, but because her books made them feel like she already understood them. And that's the first major lesson. Books are status objects when created with intention. The production quality matters, the cover design matters, the binding, tone, typeface, even the weight of the paper, it all signals taste. In the luxury space, details whisper power. Your book should look like it belongs on the shelf of a law library in Geneva or a beach house in Montecito. Because if the wrong font can make a Chanel invitation feel cheap, the wrong tone can make your expertise feel expendable. Now, let's talk about how wealthy people actually use books. They don't read them like we do. They skim for relevance. They dog-ear pages for conversations. They gift them when they want to look smart by association. That's your real win. When a client hands your book to someone else and says, "You need to read this. This is who we're working with." That is the most powerful referral in existence. You're not chasing anymore. You're circulating. So let me show you what this looks like on the ground. Elias Brandt is a high-end cybersecurity consultant. He doesn't run ads. He doesn't attend expos. What he did was write a book called Digital Discretion, a private client's guide to invisible infrastructure. He didn't make it long, just concise and sharp. But he embedded 3 case studies in it that subtly hinted at clients in industries where NDAs are tighter than vault doors. And he made it available only through direct request. We don't sell this to the public. We offer it to trusted peers and clients. Suddenly, the request became the status symbol. The scarcity elevated the authority, and within months, he had sovereign wealth funds, Hollywood agents, and luxury real estate teams asking for that Elias guy with the invisible systems, all from one book. Now listen, you don't need to be a writer. You need to be a thinker. You already have ideas your clients find valuable. You already tell stories that help people make decisions. All a book does is freeze those conversations in time and give someone the chance to discover your value before they've ever met you. In a high-trust, low-access world, that's the most scalable sales asset you can possibly own. If you don't yet have a book, or if you do, but it's not opening the doors the way it should, well, you need to go to getwealthyclients.com. I'll show you how to reposition what you've written or how to write what you should have in the first place, so your name enters the rooms you've been locked out of. Because at the highest levels, you don't get hired because you're talented. You get hired because someone heard your name in a room you weren't in. A book puts it there. On coffee tables, in beach bags, in private libraries, passed across quiet dinners in Napa. Not just a business card, a beacon, a calling card for the clients who don't just spend more, but respect more. Let your competitors keep posting. You start publishing. This is Mark Satterfield. Thanks for listening to this chapter of the Velvet Rope Playbook. I'll be back at you soon with something new, but until then, bye for now.